Trust you are having a great day like myself. Hello and welcome to another edition of FMBN Podcast, proudly brought to you by the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria here on 7 FM TV. And like I always tell you, on FMBN Podcast, we beam our searchlights on the activities, events, developments, and happenings at the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria in order to keep you informed with its workings, products, and services. Let me tell you again, this program comes up here on 7 FM TV every week with housing facts, exclusive interviews, commentaries, news, and many more that's border around affordable housing in Nigeria. And on this week's edition, I am going to be bringing to you housing facts, exclusive interviews, and FMBN this week. Yeah, let me remind you, FMBN is currently having their customer service this week. Customer service. My name is Patience Okai. I'm your host. Let's quickly go on a commercial break. We'll be right back.
One, two. What? Stop! No, people. Don't go back our system.
Sorry, comrade.
Thank you.
As an up-to-date contributor of the National Housing Fund, I will advise you to just apply straight away for a mortgage loan. Yes, there are several types you could apply for. There is the rent to own a home loan. There is the cooperative loan. There are several of them. Instead of paying so much money to these Shylock landlords.
At the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria, everyone deserves a home.
All right, welcome back to FMBN Podcast, proudly brought to you by the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria here on 7 FM TV. Let's talk about the housing facts. A lot of people are asking this particular question: can I obtain my National Housing Fund loan even outside my own state? Of course, we have answer to that particular question. Do well to thank me later. Watch this.
Most definitely yes. A prospective applicant can liaise with a mortgage loan originator, for example, a primary mortgage bank in Nigeria, to process a loan application.
Okay, you are still until the program FMBN Podcast, proudly brought to you by the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria. Let's quickly go on a short break. We'll be right back.
To improve transparency and accountability in managing the NHF funds, Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria has introduced *219#. *219# is a new way to know the status of your NHF contribution from anywhere. To use this service, dial *219#. Select 1 to update your contact detail. Press 2 to check your contribution status in any month up to the last 5 years. You can also use our mortgage calculator and bulletin board by selecting options 5 and 6 respectively. You can access other services by using direct shortcodes like *219*3# to retrieve your NHF number, *219*4*1# to check your last 5 transactions, and *219*4*2# to check your statement of account. No internet connection required, and it is available on all networks. *219#. Simpler, smarter, faster. Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria. Everyone deserves a home.
Welcome back to FMBN Podcast, proudly brought to you by the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria. So, talking about an exclusive interview, let's join the conversation with 7FM TV correspondent Austin Sinam with amazing personalities at the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria, talking about home renovation loan, which the bank sees as the baby of the house. But trust me, that particular renovation loan has been amazing. It has been doing amazingly well for the bank, and it falls on that special product group, that's SPG. Firstly, we are going to be having a chat with Group Head Special Product, Mr. Lawal Kofa Saudi. Let's join the conversation.
Major focus will be on the informal sector. So initially the group was for the informal sector group, but given additional roles, then it was renamed Special Products Group.
Okay, initially it was an informal it was then the informal sector group,
yes.
But now
It is no more. It is special product now.
Special product.
So
yes.
now it covers the whole. It covers both the formal and the informal sector.
Yes.
All right. Let's get to know what are some of the products that you have in this group.
Well, we have already. We have about 2 or 3 products that are on and running. We have the rent-on product. We have the home renovation loan product. And then we have the Nigeria diaspora mortgage loan product. But the first 2 are off and running, and the third one is at finishing touches.
It's a work in progress.
Work in progress.
All right. Let's talk about the rent to own.
Yes.
The rent to own is one of the products of the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria, being enjoyed by contributors to the National Housing Fund.
Yes.
Tell us more about this product.
Well, the rent-on came up as a result of some of the research we have made, some of the findings we have done that a lot of Nigerians could not afford equity contribution when they want to apply for NHF loan.
When you talk about equity contribution, what do you mean?
That if, for instance, you have a house that you want the bank to fund to create a mortgage for you, initially, all loans, you have to pay 10%. Then for a loan that is 5 million naira and below. Then from above 5 million naira, you pay up to 10 million naira, you pay 20%. And then above 10 million naira to 15 million naira, you pay 30%. Later, the bank said, okay, let's shelve some of those percentages. For all loans that are 5 million naira and below, you don't have to pay equity contribution. But any loan that is above 5 million naira, you pay 10% equity contribution. Still, we discovered that there are Nigerians that could not afford that equity contribution because, for instance, now if you are applying for a 10 million naira loan, you need to pay 10% of that. 10% of that is 1 million naira. So how many working Nigerians would afford to have a savings of 1 million naira? So we discovered that that too is a hindrance to some of the applicants. So that's why we came up with the rent-on. The rent-on is a product whereby it allows the applicant to move into his house, any of the funded houses, so that without paying anything. And secondly, it also eliminates a third party. You know, on NHF loan, you have to go through a primary mortgage bank. But in this case, you are dealing directly with the bank. So you apply for rent-on directly through the bank, and once it's approved, a key is given to you and you move into your house. Thirdly, we have funded estates all over the nation. And because of the problems we are encountering with the primary mortgage banks, because some of them have exceeded their one obligo limit. So that's why we say, okay, we don't have so many primary mortgage banks that could process applications. So let's isolate all our funded estates. Let's use them for the rent-on. So that was the third option, and it allows us to clean our books because there are estates that have been built, but because of one problem or the other, PMBs cannot package NHF loan for applicants.
And of course, speaking further on a home renovation loan is beautiful Mrs. Zipporah Azege, Unit Head Home Renovation Loan. Listen to what she has to say.
The home renovation loan is under the special product group, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay. Can you share with us other products, aside from the home renovation loan, other products that are available under this unit, this group?
Okay, thank you. We have up to 4 products in the group, in the SPG. And one of them is this home renovation where I'm the unit head. We also have the rent to own. We have diaspora mortgage. And we have the non-interest rent to own. These are the 4 products that are managed by SPG Group.
We'd like you to share with us about this product.
Home renovation loan is an initiative that came to limelight when the bank decided to have a wider coverage of the product NHF. You all know that the bank was packaging for NHF over a period of time, but the coverage was not very wide because the NHF was to take up to 15 million, and not many Nigerian workers had such affordability. And so the home renovation loan came into place so that it can have a wider coverage, because the maximum you take for this loan is only 1 million. And so by the time you divide that 15 million for NHF, it will cover 15 people. And this was the reason that brought home renovation into limelight. And the product has covered so much as envisaged from the beginning.
Glad to know you are still with us here on FMBN Podcast, proudly brought to you by the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria. And like I told you earlier, that's Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria is currently having their Customer Service Week. And we spoke to some beneficiaries on FMBN. This is what they have to say.
Actually, assessing the loan is a very seamless process, only if you have the right information. From the customer service of the Federal Mortgage Bank and from all the units from the developers, they've been well equipped. The form to fill and submit is a very seamless thing. Very easy to understand. You can fill it and have your loans approved within a very short, limited period of time.
But I will not go without acknowledging the Federal Mortgage Bank, who has been good enough to grant us loan for this project. I want to say, if not for them, I don't know where we'll have started. And they have been a real help to our developer, per se. They have really assisted them. And for your smart projects that you are operating, because I used to remember before, people that subscribe, they stay longer years before they even get one paper out. But now it's a lot smarter.
Good to know you are still with us here on FMBN Podcast, proudly brought to you by the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria. So moving to the FMBN news this week. Watch this. And that's the much we have for you on FMBN Podcast this week. Thanks for joining us on this beautiful and insightful edition of FMBN Podcast. Do well to join us next week for another insightful edition of Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria. That is FMBN Podcast. And of course, do follow us on all our social media handles displayed on your screen at Instagram 7TV_NIG, Twitter 7TV_NIG, at Facebook 7TV Nigeria, at YouTube 7FM-TV. You can also visit our website at www.7media. Do well to visit www.fmbn.gov.ng for more information. Don't forget, it's me, Patience, your host. Till I come your way next week, stay blessed. Bye.